to Talking with Turo.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Talking with Turo. I'm your host, Arturo. Today, I have a very special guest, an entrepreneur, someone that I noticed on Instagram that is making a lot of moves. Definitely, I plan on seeing more of her moves on other platforms. So it's not just Instagram where you can see what she's up to. But Fatima, how you feeling today?
I feel amazing. Thank you for having me on.
Good. So before we started rolling, we were talking about why some of us are attracted to water, and I know that you said that we're also made of water too. So do you think that's the only reason why we are attracted to like the ocean or lakes or anything like that?
I think it has a lot to do with it because, since we're so much made of water, it's kind of like a magnet.
Mm-hmm.
And like I mentioned before earlier, is like in biblical times, it's also seen as a way of like cleansing yourself of either negativity or
Right.
sins.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's like a natural calling for us to go back to home.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're made so much of water, I feel like it's just like a calling back to home. And when you're home, you feel comforted.
Yeah.
You feel like accepted, maybe
Yeah.
even. And water can give you those properties when you're taking a shower.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
And then there's like spiritual baths.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. There was one time specifically, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was at the beach like by myself, right? And like now I guess I could say I'm learning how to enjoy my own company.
mhm.
So I've been spending a lot of time more by myself than ever. And when I was on the beach, actually it was me and Miguel that we went, and like he took off to go do like a photo shoot right for the wedding, and I stayed there, and I was like, leave me. So I sat there like just jammed the music and just watched the waves, and something about listening to the waves move, it's like very soothing and therapeutic.
Definitely.
With that being said, do you apply that same concept with everything else that you do in life, like with your goals, your ambition, with like being calm and then being like powerful and moving like fluently?
Definitely. I just think that in life, anything that you're trying to do, there shouldn't be too much resistance, or else maybe you need to find a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And like I kind of mentioned before we were recording, is like water always finds a way.
Yeah.
I mean, in your house, if there's a leak, you can create so much damage,
For sure.
But I think what it really just comes down to is realizing that we're never really truly ever stagnant. We're always really moving.
Yeah.
Just because we can't see it on the surface, there's still paths that we're creating with our decisions every single day.
Yes.
And sometimes when we feel stagnant, we're not really stagnant. We just don't really know where those paths are all going to meet up or where they're going. So yeah.
So what have you done lately to create your own paths?
Well, going back to like not having resistance in your life to create a better understanding of where I want my business to grow is also realizing what isn't for me. What I do like for my living, I don't say that I'm the best there is, because not everyone is for me and I'm not for everyone. I think that I can help a lot of people. But I honestly think that if you're not in alignment with the right people, then it's just not going to be as powerful or effective or successful.
Right.
And the more that I give out my energy and not know where to put it, the less powerful I am. So I have to kind of feel it out.
Yeah. Going back to the energy comment, like now more than ever, I feel like everything makes sense. Like, have you seen the movie The Matrix? With like Neo, like that's the only concept I can think of right now. But like I feel like now I see everything so differently. Like the people that I talk to, the places where I'm at, it's almost like everything's happening the way it's supposed to happen when it happens, And before that, like in my 20s, I made a lot of mistakes, and I felt like the world and the universe was always against me, but it was just me making mistakes and creating my wrong path for myself,
Yes.
But if it wasn't for that though, I wouldn't be the person who I am today. So I'm grateful for those mistakes that I made, because now it's showing me a different perspective of the world where I can actually like connect with everything that's happening around me, with like the people in my life, the strangers that I meet for like a brief second,
Right.
The conversations that happen, like everything, the planet, like it's so crazy, like
How
the way
it's
I
all
think about it.
connected.
Yes, and I'm getting chills talking about it. But I don't know, like I guess I appreciate life more because of it, you know, and because of that, like I want to do so much as soon as I can. I mean, not that I want instant gratification, right?
Right.
But I think that life is very short, and I would like to try to accomplish as much as I can before I reach that end, you know?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
Do you feel like COVID like kind of inspired you also?
Not COVID. Just like, well, okay, yeah, I take it back. Yes, because we were hearing about a lot of people passing away, unfortunately, right? Like, I feel like if it wasn't for COVID, they would have a longer life and be with us today. But a little piece of the way that I feel before COVID, I had a couple friends pass away, and then I heard of like other acquaintances passing away, and then that made me like feel like, oh man, like life is so short, you know, like. And then I had
so pre-COVID, you were feeling the
yeah, and then like I also had a motorcycle accident last year, and like I'm still alive, you know, and yeah, and it just makes me like appreciate life more and just everything around me, you know, and I feel like because of that, and because like I don't know if you're spiritual, but I believe in God too. I feel like I'm more connected with God now more than ever, and I think it might be because like I don't have the same attitude that I did. Like I have like a different perspective when it comes to like trying to be there for people.
Right.
You know?
Or your relationships and connections.
Yeah. Or like even with friends or people in need, you know, like I want to be that guy that can like give, you know? So I don't know, maybe that's why things are working in my favor because of that, you know?
Yeah, we can all hope so. I mean, everyone kind of believes in karma in some sense, right? So we can only believe that the more good energy we put out, the more it'll come back to us.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah, I just asked about COVID because I feel like a lot of different entrepreneurs and perspectives were born during COVID. If you had a business and you were fighting to stay open, you had to evolve. Or if you decided this is when you were going to start your business, you had to decide do or die. Like, hey, this might not be the greatest time to start my business, but I'm going to do it anyways. But then, yeah, like you said, sometimes it affected people when it made you realize, hey, life is really short. I don't know when I can get sick and pass away in a weekend because of COVID or, you know, whatever. So it's interesting.
I actually, I caught it twice. So when the first wave came in, I forgot. I think it's when we went to Vegas, Miguel. And I don't know if I caught it on the plane or if I caught it somewhere else, who knows? But I remember I went to Zombies, and I was there with my friend Zeth and his brother, and I think like that was Sunday. Wednesday is when I was like, like this feels a little weird, and then he texted me. He's like, "Hey, dude, Mark tested positive for COVID. Like, you need to go get checked." And I was like, "Fuck!"
Then
like,
you knew.
I'm definitely gonna be positive. Like first I tested negative, right, and then I was like, I feel fine, and then Thursday it got bad, and I went to go get tested, and it was positive. And then the second time was during the other surge around December.
Yeah, when everyone was like, "Is the flu?" Or
COVID? Yeah, like that one was more like the flu and not as bad as the first one. But I was grateful like that I was still okay, you know. Yeah. Did you ever catch COVID? Or
I did. I caught it twice too.
Oh, how was your experience with the first one?
The first one was during Christmas, and the second time was like again the next year during like New Year's Eve. So
yeah.
It's like,
what were you thinking when it happened the first time? Like, were you scared? Were you worried? Or
no, not really. Actually, I wasn't worried at all.
You're like, yeah, I'll power
I think this. I think I was most scared or worried thinking of who I might have passed it onto, not knowing that I had it. But I've never really been scared of that, or I've never, and not to be morbid, but I've never really been scared of death. I've always, I see it as my next like enlightenment. So I in an odd way kind of welcome it because that must mean it's my time. Like my time is up.
Yeah.
I've done what I needed to do here, and I passed on to the next enlightenment.
Damn. I'm so glad you brought that up. Like this is a conversation that I have with like my close friends, not with everyone, you know, just my close friends, but
no, it's very deep.
So for a while I was thinking the same way. I was like trying like to embrace it. Like mentally, I'm like, okay, we're all gonna be in the ground, all of us, everybody, right? Like there's no going around it. You can't stop it. So I was mentally preparing myself for that day. Like, okay, if it happens, just accept it. It's part of life. But now I feel different. And the reason why is because like I want to do this, that. Like I have all these goals, you know?
Right.
And like one of my goals is to get a home so that way my son has a room. He lives with his mom right now, and he shares a room with his brother. And you know, that's cool and everything. Like I'm so glad that, you know, they're blessed to have a home and you know, everything's fine, they're okay. But I feel like I would feel
fulfilled.
Yes, like because I'm not doing it for me, you know, I'm doing it for him. So that for sure needs to happen before I like go out. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to do that, like for sure.
I feel that. I definitely have my own goals, but when it comes down to it, and I hate to say it, it's kind of
egotistical?
In a small way to hold on to that. But what I really think is like, because even if you didn't give that to your son or weren't able to for whatever reason, whenever you pass, he's not going to love you any less. And he's still going to miss you as much as he would.
Yeah.
You know? And
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm saying. And it's good to have goals. But the thing that I feel like, and what I've made peace with, is that what is truly meant for me in this lifetime will never miss me. Like, if I didn't get something, it was not meant for me. So I can't hold myself, like when I pass away, if I don't buy my parents their house, like my goal is to buy my parents a house. I don't want them to pay for rent. I don't want to have to worry about that. I want to pay their light, their water, everything for their entire lifetime. But I'm going to be 35 and they've lived, you know, their whole lifetimes and they're still trying to do that for themselves. So that's like a lot of pressure, you know?
Yeah.
But if I do it or if I don't do it, whatever is really truly meant for me and my mission on this earth will happen. And if it doesn't happen, I have to let it go because it wasn't a part of the journey.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
You know,
I agree with that 110%.
It's hard to let it go because that's when I say it has to do with ego, because it's hard to let it go because we tie so much of our achievements to our identity. And when we don't achieve certain things, we start to say, well, who am I? What am I doing this for? What am I worth?
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that's why I think it's really important to remember even opportunities. Like I deal with a lot of musicians in my day-to-day, in my marketing, networking, stuff like that, dealing with creatives. And then I hear a lot of people holding themselves back in the moment because they said, well, I missed that opportunity, you know, like I was supposed to do South by Southwest, or I was supposed to open up for this person and I missed it, and like if I could get back to that place, or if I could only have that opportunity again. And then I'm not trying to be like rude, but just trying to be real. And it's like, well, that just really wasn't meant for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And
maybe you just weren't ready for that.
Yeah.
Even with shop owners want to go viral all the time. When I'm talking to them about marketing, oh, I want to have a viral TikTok. Well, if you get a viral TikTok and you get 1 million orders, do you have enough people to pack 1 million orders tomorrow?
Yeah. Right.
You know, like, so it takes like just understanding that not everything is always meant for us at certain times or even in our lifetimes. But I've made peace with that so much that, like I said, I have this morbid kind of, morbid to everyone else, but to me,
right.
I'm very much like, if it's my time, it's my time.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure.
And that, like you said, that is also a motivation to me to continue to hit those goals. Like, you know, continue to try to get those things from my parents or hit my own business goals because I don't know when my time is up. And I do want to make sure that that's written down, you know, in my legacy.
Absolutely. I do want to get to that, like what you do for a living and like how you supply social media assistance to like a lot of companies. But before we do get to that point, because this is really good what we're talking about. I love this. I fucking love this. Me too. Like, with that being said, I feel the same way. Like, if I don't get like that motorcycle that I wanted and it's not meant for me, if I don't get that job that I really wanted, it's not meant for me. Like, for example, I just got terminated from my employer for 6 years that I've been working with, and but I don't feel down about it. I feel like it's changed, you know, like I'm excited because it was just chapter. Exactly. It was just that time, you know, like I wasn't meant to be there forever. And even with that, like even with that in mind, like I there's a part of me doesn't like the uncertainty, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I do like, however, like the visions that I give myself or what I see myself doing or where I'm going to be or what I'm going to have. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Except the journey in between now and then is what
Yeah.
bothers me sometimes, you know?
Because it's just the uncertainty.
Right.
Really what it is.
And I think that's the scary part. And then going back to what you said, it's like sometimes you need to put yourself in an uncomfortable position, like when COVID happened, right? All these businesses were like,
forced people to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also forced people to realize I'm just a number to my company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wasting my life doing this when I could be doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And really the uncertainty is, I mean, we can have so many other podcasts talking about different stuff.
Well, let's do it.
But what it really comes down to is the education system has failed us.
Yeah.
The education system tells you how to do certain things, but it doesn't tell you how to get from A to Z.
Right.
Especially if you want to, they tell you like the free trade is real, but they don't tell you how to do it. They don't tell you how to start your own business. They don't tell you how to do this or stocks or how to invest money. They don't teach you any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like if more people had that knowledge, they wouldn't be as scared to take the leap into entrepreneurship.
Right.
But I definitely feel like it's one of those things that a lot of people say, like, anyone can start a business these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yes and no. Like, anyone can buy an LLC, buy product, or create a service-based business.
Mm-hmm.
But it truly does take a certain type of mindset to be successful and keep going. And I think that really what it comes down to is, like, you have to develop that mindset. Some people are like, oh, so you're saying no one can ever, like develop those things? No, you definitely have to want to develop that.
Yeah.
But the first part is just like awareness of it.
Right.
Being aware, like, hey, I'm not good at this, so I need to have someone teach me or mentor me or,
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. And I think it's also too like creating good habits because some of us have bad habits,
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely.
Like I will say one of my bad habits is my spending. I don't keep track of it. Like, I'll look back and I'll be like, where did the money go?
Yeah. And then tax season comes and you're like, yeah, no, that's definitely part of it. And like, so like, that's like money mindset.
Okay.
So like another part of like some of the things that I do for my clients and help them with is also just like creating a strong mindset so that you can get through life. And on top of that, like be successful in your business.
Right. Let's talk about that. I want to talk about that. So what is it exactly that you do and like, how long have you been doing it and what inspired you to start making these moves?
Really what it was is I've been doing marketing on different levels for the past 15 years. I've been like a brand ambassador, event manager. And so I've traveled like all over the US. And what I realized is that like San Antonio has so much to offer, but we're in this little bubble.
Okay.
And there's like so much community here where it's like we're all supporting each other, but no one from the outside is supporting, like you're performing and you're selling things and you're creating these connections with people that are in the city, but what about outside of the city? And what about the people that need to document the growth of San Antonio?
Yeah.
That's when I kind of feel, I guess, most moved to do.
I see.
Is to help document and bring visibility to our community. So that's why I work with like local businesses and stuff like that. Okay. And then like some of my clients that we've worked for several years together and I've seen them grown from very small businesses to huge,
That's so dope.
Yeah, huge businesses. And I realized that one of the things they struggle with is mentally. You have to be a different person when you first start your business than when you become that 6-figure boss calling all the shots.
Right.
You have to be a different person, and there's like a different type of mentality that you have to have in every stage of growth. And so I see that when my clients start struggling with that, I can't just impose my view or whatever.
Like, I guess, like force it on them? Or?
Yeah, no, I can't. Yeah. And honestly, I'm trying to think of a way to create it's called entrepreneur-therapy. I'm trying to create this like system where I can offer it as a service. But my clients I'm very close with already, they tell me things,
Okay.
And a lot of the things that have to do with having a business-minded mindset, like you said, money. Some people have money blockages where they spend so much because they never think they're going to get it again. like in a sort of lack, coming from a lack, like, oh, I'm never going to have this money again, so I'm just going to spend it while I have it, you know, kind of mentality.
I see, okay.
Instead of thinking my money is always growing for me.
Right.
And every time I spend money, it comes back to me 10 times over because it grows for me, like developing that mindset and knowing where to put your money so it works for you.
Right.
So it's not like a business advisor. It's really just like helping your mind be in a certain perspective to allow abundance in.
Yeah.
And like one of the biggest things that I know I heard growing up was like money doesn't grow on trees. And like it actually is just all around us. It's just numbers, like the Matrix. We're talking about the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's really all around us. We just have to find that frequency that we want to tap into.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So.
There's who was it that said it? Andrew Tate. He said that there's money out there. There's money out there to be made that you can just grab and go get it if you want. And then there's another saying that I heard too, where it's like, I wish I could remember his name, but I also believe in manifestation, right?
Same. I was just gonna say like alchemist and alchemy, like creating something out of nothing.
Of course, yeah. But of course, like. So I tried explaining it to my dad, right? Because he's like super religious, and like if you believe in like anything else, like it might be wrong.
Right.
But when I told him about manifestation, he's like, "So it's just gonna happen?" I'm like, "No, you need to put the work in too. But like you have to like think it, you have to believe it." The reason why I'm bringing that up is because there's YouTube videos that I'll watch. Like one of my goals is to buy off my dad's house. Like he's worked hard forever, you know, supporting me and my sister when we were young. And now he still has bills because he just bought his third house. I don't know why he did that, but hey, it's his life, whatever.
Right.
But it would just I would feel really good if I just said, here, Dad, you owe like what, 200,000? Okay, here you go. Boom. Now go live your life. Go have a good time. Go enjoy it. You know, like you're 50 something years old. That's one of my goals. And another goal is to also be able to buy a yacht. Sorry, I kind of had like stopped for a little bit.
No, you're good. Yeah.
So I've been watching videos. I've been watching videos of this one guy who does tours of like mansions and yachts. And not that like I want the material things in life. It's just like I want those things, you know, just to like have a nice home. So I watch videos. I listen to like there's a video where it just plays back like people like, you know, like having it's gonna sound stupid, but
no,
like,
it's not. My name is Ms Fatima Manifest. So
ooh, okay.
Like
so like you'll see like
I'm like
people,
affirmations.
Yes.
I listen to affirmations all the time.
Yes. Like you'll see these people like on their yachts, like having a good time, like, but in the background of the music, it's like, you know, I will get money, I will have this. So I'm watching these videos. I'm doing like I'm just spending
You're putting
time.
yourself on that frequency.
Yeah. And then also one of the videos it said that you can't have a poverty mentality. Like, have you heard of those people where like they'll win the lottery and then it's all gone? It's all gone.
I would say, and you can look it up, the statistics, but I would say it's like 70% to 80% of those people, they do lose it because they don't have the right. Broke is a mentality.
Yeah.
Damn,
that is true.
Broke is a mentality because you're literally broken. Like your relationship to money is broken. When you spend money, even when you're paying your bills, like if you think of it in a different perspective, you can really change your life. And I tell people this all the time. I said, you know how you feel when you pay like all your bills? You're like, I need a cigarette, I need a shot of Jack, like, but you shouldn't feel that way.
Right.
Like if you tell yourself like, I'm so grateful I've got one clean running water in my house. I'm so grateful I could pay for my own groceries and cook a meal for my family and provide. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Your relationship with money and spending it becomes different.
Right.
And you can spend your whole life saying, hey, I have to pay Uncle Sam and I have to pay these bills.
Like being negative about it, right?
Being negative about it. You're really just, you can choose your heart, you know? It's still not going to put more money into your bank account. Whereas I feel like when you choose to be more positive about it, change your perspective and also take accountability.
Yes.
You know, about how much time you're spending on things that are not making you money. I call them IPAs, income producing activities. And that's the bummer. And that's why I listen to Gary Vee, because
I do too.
I feel like he's always making money. He's always finding a way to make money. And I feel like it's not just because money is important to him, but because it's an exchange of energy and he likes that feeling.
Yeah.
I think he's addicted to that feeling. A lot of people are. That's why we spend money, because you don't feel bad when you're actually buying yourself the PS5.
Uh-huh.
Like when you're in line, you're like a little kid. You're excited. That's like a good exchange of energy. Or when you pay someone for like, you know, like photo services or video services and it comes out badass, you don't feel bad for spending that money.
So let me ask you this. Like, so lately, I spent a lot probably the past like 2 to 3 weeks. And I made a big purchase. I bought another motorcycle, right? For some reason, it doesn't feel that good. Like I feel like I'm doing something wrong. So what do you think that might be? Like, instead of me being like, oh, I worked hard, I deserve this, I'm just like,
it's still,
what did I do? You know?
I mean, one part of it is your relationship with money. Like I said, anytime we spend money, even if we feel like it's something we worked hard for, when we finally spend it and it's there, we're kind of like, oh, this isn't what I was kind of expecting, or you still feel guilty about it. It kind of goes back into money mindset, because the way you determine your own worth, like, kind of determines how you see the worth of everything else. So if you don't see a value in like having a joyride on the highway to yourself blasting music, then when you finally get it, it's not going to be like,
I see,
what you thought it was.
Okay.
Or like whatever it meant to you didn't mean freedom. Like, you know, whatever it meant to you.
Okay.
When you first got it might have changed when you finally got it, and you're like, okay, I spent this money. You're like, I spent this money. It doesn't feel the same. Now what? So then I would even dig deeper and say, so like, do you feel like money validates you? Or
no. Maybe because I just feel like I'm splurging on myself.
Like you don't deserve it.
Yeah,
just a little bit. Yeah. Just a little bit.
Yeah, like a part of me.
Is it because of the job thing? Like, oh, I just parted ways with my job, and now I'm getting a motorcycle. I didn't earn it.
No, I think,
because I felt that way.
if I'm being 100% honest, I think it's because like maybe I should just like spend it on someone else, like my son or my son's mom. Not that I'm not like helping them out, you know, I am, but it's just like a big purchase for myself. Like I kind of feel like me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's, we should definitely have like a talk about the entrepreneur, because I feel like that's another thing that comes into play is like, like with the worthiness part, like a lot of people don't believe they're worthy of success or the fruits of their labor.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people, I find, they feel like they have to earn their money back like twice over. And what I mean is like, you'll do the work for the client, but then you'll still keep bending over backwards doing extra stuff because you feel, I don't deserve what they paid me. I need to do more.
Okay.
When I meet people who overcompensate a lot, I make sure that I validate them, because I know that that's what they're trying to get. Yeah. And so what I've learned with my own goals, because I do have big goals too, like lofty goals, like, oh, I want a Range Rover. Yeah, when you say yacht, like one of my mentors, her goal was to have a yacht. She's got her yacht. And so
she's got her yacht?
Yeah, she's got her yacht.
That's so dope.
And that's why I'm like, the thing is with that is we have to remember like to make sure that it's something that's going to fulfill us more than just the ego.
Oh, okay.
Or else you might not attain it, because it might not be the right reasons.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that's not in your heart to have it for the right reasons. You just have to like align with that. And what I mean is like, so a lot of, I don't know, so different people might view my ambition or my goals as, like you said, money driven. But what it really is I want there to be no limit in anyone else's mind of what they can achieve. If there's a little Hispanic girl out there saying, I want a Range Rover, and her mom's like, yeah, right, whatever. Yeah. I want to be that person who says, no, baby, you can go get it.
Yeah, for sure.
Or you want your yacht? Like, I hope you get it, because you can say, hey, I'm someone from X, Y, and Z, and I worked this long, and this is the fruits of my labor, because this is what I want to have to spend time with my family, go vacationing with my family. You know, as long as you tie what it is that you want to do in life or your goals to something deeper than the surface, that's how you truly manifest it, because you are attaching an emotion to your goal.
Damn.
Yeah. Because you're feeling it. And so like when you say you watch the YouTube videos, that's visualization. That's a part of manifestation. And that's good because you have to put yourself where you see yourself. Definitely. And I've been in so many different environments that I feel like that's why I have the perspective I have now. Like I didn't grow up in the best neighborhood.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't grow up in the best neighborhood. And when, I don't know if this is before recording, but we're talking about how like I'm kind of always out and about. Like what people see and perceive of me online is very orchestrated and choreographed because you guys are literally seeing me design my life. And I've been sharing that on Instagram for over a decade now. If anyone used to follow me, I used to model.
Really?
When I modeled, I went like all over the U.S. I went to the Virgin Islands. Oh my God,
so dope.
Like it was fun.
Yeah.
But all of that was part of manifestation as well because I had just moved out and I was like, I want to travel. Like I want to see the world, but I don't have money. I don't know how to get money to be at these like crazy places.
Yeah.
So I said, well, what talents do I have that I can use to get me where I want to go? And manifestation and turning, you know, something out of nothing. I just kind of took a bet on myself. And every step of the way, every kind of venture that I've went through, I think what it just comes down to is I've tried to reinvent myself, recreate myself so many times over and design my life in a way that is so different from what I grew up.
I see.
And like I was saying earlier, the reason why it's kind of more important to me now to be more authentic and be more out there and create more content.
Absolutely.
Is because I want everyone to not just see who I am now, but understand that it took a very long time to get here besides the marketing and all that. I struggle with mental illness since I was 12. And back then, they didn't even really know what it was. Like now, everyone knows, you know, what mental illness is, and everyone's a lot more open about it. Back then, no one did. Like no one in my family knew I was going to a therapist, and I was told not to tell my aunts and my tias and everyone. And so I just feel like it's something where I don't look like where I came from.
I see.
And the way my business is built and the way I work with people and interact with people on a professional level, to me, like I have to really pat myself on the back and remind myself like that I didn't come from what other people might have had or think I had. Like everything I've experienced in my life, I can truly say I manifested it.
Good. Or that you earned.
Or that I earned it. I did the work to get there.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, of course. Definitely. Oh my goodness. Yes, you're hitting the nail right on the head. Like I know for a fact that everything that I want in life, I'm going to have. Like, I believe it so much.
Yeah.
Like, just like how I believe, like, God is real. I don't need to see him or hear him. Like, I believe it so much that I know I'm going to get it. But also, like, I will do the necessary steps to get those things.
There,
you know, not just, like, let it fall in my lap.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of hard work.
Oh, yeah, for sure. When, like, around, can you think back on a time when you started thinking differently like this? You know, where you were like, you know what? Moment. Yeah, like, you know, you're like, you know what? This is what life is about. This is what I have to do. This is what I can help people with. Like, we're all going to make it if we really want it, you know?
I think it was really COVID, to be honest.
COVID?
And this is exactly what hit home for me is like, so I've done a lot of different things, but one thing that's always paid my bills is being a server. So I've been in the industry for like, I don't know, 6 to 10 years. Okay. And when COVID hit, all my favorite restaurants, all my favorite food trucks, all my people were hurting because they couldn't operate. And so during COVID, I actually started doing social media for different like food trucks to help get the word out
so dope,
that they were doing to go or delivery. And more specifically, this group called Bucho. Bucho Tejano Street Fair, and they're under the Dirt and Food Group umbrella.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But they decided that they were going to do food deliveries during COVID and like offer these like crazy deals on like food packs because people couldn't go out and eat, you know?
Right.
And he's like, we're just going to bring it to you. So during COVID, they started this whole pack called We Are Essential. And it was all the restaurant workers saying like, hey, like we're the culture of San Antonio. You can't just tell us we can't operate.
Yeah.
You know, so seeing that and wanting to, again, document and help them out, I really felt that need during COVID. I think that's really what it was.
Like it was the catalyst or like that push that you needed,
that
right,
really pushed it because I was doing little things promotional wise here and there. I've always kind of been promoting different things here and there. But whenever I realized like I'm the type of person that I do things 100%, I was like, hey, I'm doing this kind of half-assed. Like I'm kind of doing it as a hobby when I know that I have connections within bars and venues and even just like working throughout the US. Like I have the experience to really help people on a bigger impact than just reposting something.
Right.
So.
With all that footwork that you do, like, was there anything else that inspired you to do more? Like where you're like, you know what, I can make this move, I can do that, I can create this, I can build something, you know?
I think when it comes down to it, I just remember I always keep in mind like what drew me to working with different people and musicians and creatives and businesses. When I was a lot younger, I used to enjoy going to like markets and buying like individual items, unique items, handmade items, things that you can't find elsewhere. And I think that really truly when it comes down to it, the love that I have for my city is at the root of everything that I do. We can like have a whole nother talk later, but like my family. So I'm 8th generation Navarro. Okay. So Navarro Street is named after my grandpa, Jose Antonio Navarro.
Oh shit! Okay.
So like no matter where I am in this city, I always feel like at home. I always feel very comfortable. I always feel like anywhere I've traveled, I've always like represented San Antonio. Yeah. When they ask me where I'm from, like Texas, they're like, "Oh, howdy," and I'm like, "I'm from San Antonio, Texas." Yeah, everywhere I go, I get a howdy.
Yeah.
But I just always want to make sure like I'm representing the city whenever I go out. That I'm hospitable, that I'm like, professional, and being relatable. And when it comes down to it, like any way that I can show off my city, that's really what it's about.
That's dope.
I want to show it off to the world. We have so much going on, so much culture that sets us apart from Austin and Dallas and Houston.
For sure.
But as far as visibility, I think that's where we're really, really lacking. And it's a little bit sad, but it's not disheartening. I still think that we're on the cusp of it.
Or like how you said earlier, like it's the bubble, Like,
yeah, we're a little bit in the bubble, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
How often do you travel, or like where have you been, like here in the States?
To be honest, after the incident we talked about off camera, that was like in 2019. I've only been a couple other places in the States. But I mean, traveling throughout the US, doing events, like it kind of just made me realize how much technology and specifically connected people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I was working with like a VR company, but so that's why when I come back home, I'm like, dude, there's like so many different ways to connect with everyone outside of this bubble, and we don't know what other people are interested in until we put it out there. So like, there's this huge like Chicano music. I don't know what's it called, revival in Japan right now.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, where they love our music. They're dressing like cholas and everything. And it's, it's like, dope. Who would have thought, And how do you know your music's not going to hit off in Australia or France or wherever? You don't know until you put it out there. And so part of social media for me is all the different avenues you have. It's not just posting. It's going live or going on Twitch. Like Twitch is so big right now. Or TikTok and TikTok Live.
Yeah.
Getting that global visibility on your brand. And like they say, like your vibe attracts your tribe. So the more you put your vibe and your energy out there, the more they start coming to you. And then you start having these followers from across the globe and you're like, where did this come from? Like, so.
No, speaking of that, I'm glad you said that, because when I helped with the Chocolate Academy Festival, like that got me more followers too.
Well, that's how I saw you.
Yeah, and that's super dope. I'm glad that happened. It's almost like it was meant to happen.
It always is meant to happen. Like every opportunity is meant for you.
And like, no, I agree with you 100%. And I think it's I think it was Gary Vee that said, like, keep pumping out content, because you just never know who's gonna see it,
pick up on it.
Yeah, and you never know like what's gonna happen or how you can grow. Like I was in a band with Miguel actually, called Murillo.
I heard.
You did? Ooh,
I heard from a couple of musicians I was bringing up I was going to be here, and they're like, "Oh, he used to be in a band."
What?
Yeah,
That's crazy,
so they still
bro.
remember you.
But like 2020, I think was the last time we were all together. And I was pretty down about it, like that we didn't continue on. But then it went from like anger to understanding,
Right.
and going back to what we were talking about, how like, if it's not meant for you, then it's just not going to happen. So then after that came acceptance too, and after that, like now, like me and Miguel are doing this thing. He's doing other things. We're doing so many things, but if it wasn't for that, then I don't think we would have been doing any of this,
Right.
So I felt like it was like a necessary step for growth.
I feel like I'm full of like little sayings, but I very much believe in that. Well, not necessarily rejection, but rejection is either protection or redirection.
Redirection. Okay.
Sometimes things that we think we're ready for, we're not ready for. Or sometimes there's things that whatever you believe God sees that we don't see. Conversations being had that we don't hear.
Yeah.
And so he said, hey, no.
Yeah.
Don't go there. And then like they always say, like God always has a bigger plan. So like one door closes, another one opens, and here we are on the podcast.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that 100%. And like I'm excited to see like what's going to come next,
Oh yeah.
So the new place that I'm going to is in the oil field. I used to work in the oil field 10 years ago. And like, if I don't put myself in this uncomfortable situation, then there's no room for growth. You know what I mean? So I'm super excited to see what's going to come from this. Do you have, like, I know you said one of your goals was to get your parents a home, right? Are there any like bigger goals, or not bigger than that? Sorry. Like, are there any other big goals that you do have that you would like to accomplish?
Right. I think long term, I'm realizing, long term, I'm realizing that a part of like accomplishing things and being successful is helping other people be successful as well.
Yeah.
So, and not even just to my clients, but I think what I'm going to start to do, like effective immediately, is start to create a workshop where I show other people to do what I do. Because in all honesty, if you're a creative person and you want to not be in the 9-to-5 area, you just have to identify what skills you have right now that you could be making money off of.
Absolutely.
And like I said, when you don't have a plan and you have that unknown, you're in a fight or flight. You might go back to your regular kind of thinking because you don't know what the next step is. But if I had a workshop or a workbook that said, this is how you start off, this is how you set up your LLC, right, etc. So part of, in the Bible it says, be fruitful and multiply. So I want to multiply the knowledge I have and give it to more people. Because then in turn, more people, like, I'm not afraid of other people starting marketing companies because I feel like there's so much money in business is to go around, and if more people will feel empowered to start their own businesses, whether it be like a virtual assistant or social media or doing TikToks or being a content creator, whatever it is, as long as you know that, like I said, it's not ego driven. It's something that's going to fulfill you. It's something that aligns with what your ultimate goals are. Like, to me, my journey and my whole purpose will have been worth something if I can teach someone else how to do it.
Of course. Yeah.
So that's my long-term goal, is to create this like system that's so duplicatable that I can go and turn and teach other people how to do it.
Like that's your way of giving back to the community, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you saying all this was making me think, like, am I giving enough? And I don't think I've asked that a couple times, but right now with you saying this, like right here, right now, right here, now, I'm wondering, like, am I doing enough? Maybe that's why if I splurge or if I buy this and that, like,
am I doing enough?
Right? Should I be doing more?
Well, I think that's awareness.
Yeah.
You're becoming aware of your time and what you want to do with it.
Was there ever a time that you felt like you could be doing more?
All the time.
All the time?
I don't sleep a lot. I live off caffeine. I sleep in patterns.
Uh-huh.
I'll stay up and then I'll sleep like a couple hours during the day and then just wake up and start working again. And like I said, a lot of people tell me I don't turn off.
Yeah.
Like I'm always on.
Yeah.
I'm always on my phone. I'm always working because I always feel
Mhm.
like I could be doing more.
Mhm.
Definitely.
That's so dope.
I just feel like as long as I'm above ground another day, then I need to do, higher powers justice.
Yeah.
And until I rest my head down to sleep and say I'm fulfilled, I've done everything I could do, then I can go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
You're like, okay, now I want to do all this shit.
No, but I know that you're gonna accomplish everything that you want to do before that happens, and I just know it. When it comes to starting an LLC, how does that work? Like, because I keep hearing about it because I plan on starting my own LLC,
right?
Not just for the podcast, but like I have this goal, right? And I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but like I'm doing research and everything to get it done.
Right.
But I want to buy a party bus and then rent it out. So that could be part of the LLC, but definitely.
I know someone who's franchising that right now.
Really?
Yeah, we should talk about that.
What? Okay. Well, let's get into that after the LLC. So how is it? A simple process? Like how does it work? It's
actually super simple. It's just paperwork. You can either do it online or go down to like the tax office and do it.
Tax office.
And basically like what I tell people is like if you're just starting out and you're maybe like making jewelry or you're selling items at a marketplace and stuff like that, you don't necessarily have to have the LLC. But once you start getting bigger and purchasing more equipment, stuff like that, for tax reasons and for insurance reasons, you want to have insurance, for like when people come here, if I get stabbed, no, I'm just kidding. If something happens, to me, you want to be covered by that. But honestly, it's super, super easy. It's just a great way to leverage your money when you're starting off as a small business and doing your own taxes.
Gotcha.
So it's super easy.
And there's what are the benefits like of that? Like I heard like if someone tries to like sue you, it won't go against you, it'll go against your LLC.
Right. And then so what's important is to have separate LLCs for each business for that reason.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people will get an LLC and then underneath it have a DBA, which is like my umbrella is my LLC, but I'm doing business as X, Y, and Z. If anyone goes after that LLC, all your DBAs under that will be like all your assets will be frozen and stuff like that. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So.
Damn. Crazy.
Yeah.
So with the franchising with the party bus, can you tell me a little bit about that? Like.
Yeah. So there's this guy. I don't know how I'm eventually going to become like a business to business like type person as well because I just always know somebody who knows somebody. I don't know why. Yeah. But there's this guy. They call him like the brunch god or something. He does like these big, huge brunch festivals, and his name's Jose Anthony Torres. If you're watching,
okay.
He has a very successful party bus business, and he has been doing it for I don't know. I want to say a decade, maybe less.
Wow. Okay.
And so he's finally like, hey, I want to just like have someone else run it. That's the ultimate thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. That would be the goal. I mean, of course, if I'm starting out, I'm gonna have to like be the driver and like keep up with the
maybe
upkeep,
I don't know. Maybe you just save some bucks in the beginning.
Yeah.
Do you like wearing a tux and like
I love it all. Like
you can go all out with the tux and hat and everything and the gloves.
I mean, like I'm trying to drop some weight so that way I can wear those things again. But like once I do, no, I won't mind it at all. When you were modeling, what was that like? Like, you don't seem like a shy person. Were you ever a shy person growing up?
No, I'm very shy.
Really?
I'm the most introverted extrovert.
Okay.
I'm a very big hermit. And I think what it comes down to is going back to like reinventing myself. So like growing up in a very like harsh neighborhood, I wasn't into the same things that some of the people around me were. I was like a skater punk chick.
Okay.
And I had short hair.
Yeah.
I was friends with a lot of different people, but I was very much a target as well. And I got into a lot of fights and stuff. So I feel like once I turned like, I think it was like between 18, 20, I wanted to reinvent myself. And as a model, you take on different roles depending on the shoot. I was a super hero and I was this and I was that. And I never wanted to be put in a box. Like people were like, saw my tattoos and they wanted me to do pinup, like tons and tons of pinup.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I just never wanted to be in a box. And for me, it was about reinventing myself.
Okay.
And seeing myself in a different way.
Yeah.
So.
Damn, that's super dope. Were you able to travel too when you were doing the modeling? Or?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was in the U.S. I went to the Virgin Islands. It's considered still the U.S., but I think that was like, I guess, the biggest trip that I took.
Did you go to the beach and all that? Like, enjoy your time there?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
So dope.
I stayed in this part called Water Island, which is like this little island nearby St. Thomas, and it's a private island. And I think it was like every night of the week they had something different on the beach where you could go out and have dinner on the beach. So that was fun. Candlelight dinner on the beach. That was fun and beautiful.
Yeah. God, that's so dope, man.
And again, another thing I manifested, like all these trips were all expenses paid.
Ooh.
So I was going everywhere, not spending my money. Just in my head, I knew that's where I wanted to be. So
just having a good time.
Yeah. But again, like I've been on every end of the spectrum. Like I tell people, like I used to take private jets to Vegas for modeling gigs and stuff, and I've ridden the bus to work before.
Yeah.
Life is very humbling that way, and I never forget where it all started and where I came from. So
going back to that comment you said earlier, like to be appreciative of what you have. Like there are some days where it's like, you know, I want more, but then there's also some days where like I'm in my bed, I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, damn, I'm lucky to have a bed. Yeah. You know, I'm lucky to have like AC.
I think people feel like those feelings can't coexist. Like you have to feel either one way or the other. But I think it's okay to feel both.
Yeah.
To be grateful for where you're at, but always have that hunger for more.
To want more. Okay.
To want more.
Well, I feel better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I try to remind myself though, you know, well, not really try. There's some days I'm just like, damn, I can't believe it. Like I have this home, I have my bed, I have my son, I have food, I have a car, you know. There's a lot of people that don't have those things, you know?
Yeah.
So then that's what reminds me to be grateful for it, you know?
So every like part of like mindset and for myself, what I do to make sure I always have a strong mindset and then I'm operating from a place of abundance and not lacking is I remind myself every morning, and I have this pink journal and I write what I'm grateful for. And sometimes when I want to switch it up, I tell myself I have to write something different because the first few things are always like, you know, my mom, my dad, my house.
Right, of course.
Sometimes I tell myself, put things on here that are not physical. And so I'm like, I'm grateful for my spirit. Like my spirit keeps me going.
Yeah.
You know, I'm grateful for my perspective on life. I always say I'm grateful for my angels and my ancestors, you know. And I think that another quote is that a heart full of gratitude is a magnet for miracles. Yeah. Because people who experience miracles in their life, sometimes they're at the bottom of the barrel to where this is like the only way out, and they see like, dude, God is really extending his hand to me. And the reason why that is because he wants you to know that it's only his power that could have done that for you. Yeah. Or your own faith is the only thing that could have done that for you.
No, absolutely.
So I feel that like gratitude is the easiest way to help someone get out of either a funk or even a depression. Yeah. And, you know, that's why I say those feelings can coexist, because a lot of people in depression, they want more for themselves, but they don't know how to find themselves being gracious in the moment or have gratitude in the moment. But it's okay to have both. It's okay to be sad and be like, you know what, I'm still not where I want to be. Like that's okay too. Like they can coexist. Right. You know.
On your down days where like you'll feel like either super depressed or just super down. What do you do to try to like feel better, or like do you try to shake it off if it comes on?
Yeah. And it's funny because so many people watch my stories. I feel like people used to realize when I was having down days because I wouldn't post at all, but now I'm starting to kind of post more because I do want people to know like it's not easy to, have your own business, number one, but it's just not easy to even just function and navigate life right now, that people feel like they can't relate to someone who has everything put together or looks a certain way. So there's been a couple of times on my stories where I'll post like, hey guys, I'm having a mental health day. Like I'm in bed. I've been in bed all day. I haven't left. But you know what? I'm still a motherfucking queen.
Yeah.
Like I'm a queen on the days I'm on my bed, and I'm a queen when I'm out there doing my thing. Because so much of, like I said, our worth is attached to what we achieve. And then that goes into burnout culture, you know, like I don't support burnout culture. I'm a hustler and I will always like, you know, work until I'm tired. But I definitely feel like part of like mental health and mindset is knowing your boundaries, knowing when to recharge.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're most powerful.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I can't remember exactly where I started thinking this way, but I remember that 9 to 5 shit that you mentioned earlier. Like, I don't want to do that forever, you know?
Yeah.
And I keep hearing this is that it used to work for our parents back in the day, you know, because it was a different time.
Right.
Now, like, you have to like try to hustle hard and create your own like avenues of revenue, and you have to
everyone has to have a side hustle.
Yeah. And you got to go above and beyond if you really want the things that you want out of life, you know? And at one point I was just like, I want more, you know? I want more. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to do it. I don't care how long it takes. What do I have to do? One of my goals on my whiteboard is to, it says, gain financial freedom no matter what it takes to take care of the people who are important to you and yourself.
Yeah. Like my biggest goal is time freedom.
Oh, yeah. To like have
time freedom. Like be on island time. Like not have to, I have to. Like I said, I'm pretty busy. I'm always, and I'm OCD. So everything is on a schedule. Everything's on a timer. So to have the time freedom to say, you know what? I'm making enough money that I can go on a vacation with my family for a week.
It's just like that. Like, hey, let's go.
Bye.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Oh,
that kind of freedom.
For sure. Likewise. Like I'm aiming for that, you know? On the days that you do get down, like what kind of thoughts race through your mind? Because I know I have repetitive thoughts on my bad days, you know?
Right. Honestly, what it comes down to is, I mean, I would say most days it's hard for me to wake up and keep going because I feel like I don't have a lot of support around me. Okay. I'm the oldest in my family. So when you're the oldest, unfortunately, people don't check on you the same as they would like the baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like since I'm the oldest, I feel like there's extra pressure for me to do things for my family versus the baby.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? But what I do is I have nephews. I've got 3 nephews and a niece. And I remember they used to be they're so proud of me, but they used to be so proud when they would talk to their friends and they would say, oh, like, you know, what do your family does for a living or whatever? And they would always bring me up. They'd be like, my aunt takes a plane to work. She is working in different cities all week and you know. And honestly, honest to God, like when it comes to like breaking generational curses, that's like what it comes down to. That's what drives me. If I don't wake up and get out and work my ass off, then my nephews don't know what they're capable of. Then my niece will never know what she's capable of. That you can really have and create any life you want. Like I love to wake up and just say, which coffee shop do I want to go to today?
Yeah.
Who do I want? And I talk to everyone. I talk to the person at the counter and when I'm sitting down and just like a little like a social butterfly sometimes. I don't know how. But because I just really, truly believe that you have to create and design the life that you want. No matter where you came from, no matter what you're going through, currently in this state, you have a visualization of where you want to put your life and where you want to go.
Yeah.
So you have to just continue to have that, I guess, as your bigger picture.
Yeah.
Because we get caught up in the everyday.
Yeah. No,
I get caught up in the everyday. I check my bank account, you know, I have bills to pay. But like we were saying, broke is a mentality. So if I don't focus on what I'm lacking and only focus on what I'm grateful for and what's coming to me, then it's going to be all good.
I love this positive vibe that you have. It's almost like it's adding on, like you're just like, you know, and it's coming on, and you're like, yes, now I feel more positive, you know?
Yeah, that's what I want. I always want to bring value to any situation, any project,
no matter how small or big, you know?
No matter how small or big.
Yeah. That's so dope. Damn.
But one thing I did want to say is kind of also something I really believe in is like synchronicity. So we're talking about like,
oh yes,
like like me watching you and us connecting. Well, then I saw you did like a podcast with Mikey and how me and him have a connection. I I've known Mikey since high school. He was literally like the first person I met in high school, and
Really?
I was so like, I'm not gonna lie, I was such a bitch.
Uh-huh.
But it's because I was defensive.
Yeah. Okay.
I was used to like being in my hood, defending myself, and then I went to
Gotcha.
this neighborhood. I went to Judson.
I did too.
So it's like really, so
Yeah.
it's like a mix of country people and
Yeah.
ghetto people, and
Yeah,
so I remember seeing him, and him and his friends were staring at me like, "What is this person? Is this a girl? Is this a guy?" I mean, I think they knew it was a girl, but at the time they were just like, "We've never seen a girl dressed like this or whatever." And I was so mean to him at first, and then we became friends. And I realized that he kind of has like a little negativity to him, a little dark side to him too.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why we always connected and always supported each other, because when I first started modeling, he would buy the car and be like, "That's my friend." Like, and I'd be the same with him in Dear Vibes. But we both came from like kind of harder neighborhoods, and since we're creatives and so different, we were easy targets, And I in my own way have like this pessimistic side. I call it like being a realist, but really it's kind of like a pessimistic side. So like my darkness saw his darkness, and I was like, "You're gonna be okay. Like it's okay to have that. Like it's part of your shadow work. You have to learn to embrace your faults. You have to learn to embrace your negative side, because sometimes there are things worth listening to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, with a grain of salt. Don't just be an Eeyore. But don't ignore it either. So it's just crazy how synchronicity works, and how he was here and then now I'm here.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I feel like things like that, the people in our lives, like even if it's just for a short time passing through, like is meant to happen. Was there ever a time that you felt that you like really, really helped someone, that you did like you went above and beyond to like make something happen for them, and like it made you feel like really good about it?
I mean, I really truly try to have those interactions with people in the daily. Like when I go to even just like the corner store to pay my gas, I look at their name tag and I say their name, and sometimes they're like, "How does she know my name?" And I'm like, "What's on your name tag?" But they just haven't been acknowledged like by their name. Honestly, this is kind of random, but I remember working for a restaurant, and one of the guys was homeless. The owner of the restaurant had got him a room for maybe just a month, just to help him get on his feet. But it was like Valentine's Day, and he wanted to get something for his daughter, and he kept bringing it up like all week, like, "Man, I don't have money, I don't get paid till next week, and I really want something for my daughter." And I think she was only like 8 years old. So in my head, I was thinking, you know what, I'm gonna make her a Valentine's Day basket. And it wasn't anything big in my head, but I'm an over gifter, so I kind of went all out, and I got like balloons and like a teddy bear and chocolate and stuff like that. And I came in, and everyone thought it was given to me. They're like, "Ooh, who got you something?"
Yeah.
And he was standing there, and I said, "This is for your daughter, but don't tell her I got it.
Yeah.
Tell her it's from Daddy." And I saw this grown man just like break down in tears. And he's like Mexicano.
Yeah.
So, you didn't have to. And like I would give him a ride home it was a Budget Suites. I give him a ride home, and I remember the look on that little girl's face, like, "Look, Daddy got you this."
Yeah.
That's what it was for. And I mean, I always give to people when I see people, and I always ask them, "What's your name, man? Do you mind if I pray for you?"
Yeah.
I feel like everyday interactions, you need to always leave people feeling better than when you met them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Like I've done things before to help people, like give them rides, or like if they're asking for money, like just give them a 20, like, "Here you go," But one of my biggest goals, and I know you can help people in other ways besides money, but one of my biggest goals is like to be financially free enough to where like if somebody's like, "Oh man, like I'm not gonna be able to like pay for this operation," or like I can't pay my rent,
like
I'll
on
be
a
like, "Look,
bigger
dude, I
scale.
have the money. Like just take it and don't say anything." I want to be able to do that like on a grand scale, like on a big scale,
Yeah.
And I think if once I reach that point and I start doing those things, like I'm gonna feel so much more accomplished than anything else that I would have done in my life,
Yeah, I try to work with people who like to do things every now and then to give back to the community, because I think we don't realize how much impact just a little act can do.
Yeah. for someone else's life.
Yeah, like anytime you clear out your closet, clear out your pantry, donate it.
Yeah.
Even if you think, hey, there's like holes here or there, it's going to keep someone warm.
Yeah. True.
And it helps you be more grateful.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Is there any advice that you could give like the people watching about what's the best way to invest their money? Like, let's say if somebody had like 10 grand today, like in your opinion, what do you think would be the best course of action to double it, or like to let them be a little bit more fruitful?
Well, I would definitely say you have to identify what it is that you like or you're good at, so that you can pick something that's knowledgeable to yourself, and or if you have enough money to hire someone else who's good at it to tell you like, hey, this is good or not.
Oh, okay.
So delegation is very important. But second of all, I'm more than anything, what I'm pushing for business owners in any industry is to find a way to run your business without you physically having to be there.
Like make money in your sleep.
Yeah,
that's
like
what I want to do.
Passive income.
Yes.
And so that's why when I say I wanted to start teaching people, it's because I want to create these workshops and these workbooks and stuff that are going to be on sale, so that when I'm off doing my thing, they're just being sold.
Yeah. Like the money's coming.
The money's just coming. And so when people say, what should I invest my money in? Well, what do you like? Right now, vending machines are big. But specialty vending machines are even bigger. So instead of putting snacks in it, well, if you put Funko Pops or whatever, those, or trading cards like Dungeons and Dragons, and then only put it in those niche areas. So for me, I would just say find out what your niche is, find out what is like super special to you.
Okay.
And anyone can have it. Like even everyday mommies, like those are the ones that I meet so many moms that they're like, I want to stay at home with my kids.
Yeah.
Create a mommy hack Amazon store where all you sell is your cleaning hack items, your mommy hack, the best diapers, the best of everything, and then review them.
Yeah.
Go onto YouTube, try it with your baby.
Yes.
Sell it. Like it's it's really easy to get started once you tap into what you're really good at.
I see.
Or what you love, like what's your passion?
Yeah, I think that's what I know what I'm passionate about, but I guess the problem that I'm having is like, how can I apply the money that I do have into like that? Like, where do I start? What do I do? But
you have to decide if it's going to be people or product.
Okay.
Are you going to invest your money in a person or a product? Like another mic or another camera? Or are you going to invest in someone who has like crazy drone skills and you want to do drone video, or you want to do that's where I'm at in my business.
I see.
Is finding out what other services that I want to offer my clients and then going to go invest in them so that I don't have to provide them that service.
And you have your own website, right? I checked it out. It looks really, really dope.
Thank you. Yeah, I have my own website, and then I do websites for people because it's something.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's something that I feel like is like almost a given. Everyone needs a website to like solidify their business.
For sure.
So I do that, and then it's just something like I used to do HTML in MySpace days, so
that's dope.
It's all easy for me now to do websites, and I realize like it's like everyone needs it to function now. Yeah,
no, for sure. Well, Fatima, it was good bringing you in. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for talking about life and business and water.
I definitely want to bring you back because like the subtopics that we did have, I actually want to bring someone else in too, because I think we would have a lot to say to each other, when it's 3 people versus one-on-one.
Yeah, different perspectives.
So if you want, you can tell the people like where to find you, what you can give them, the services that you offer, your Instagram, all that stuff. And
yeah. So people can follow me on Instagram at Ms Fatima Manifests. I have a website, hendrixmarketingproductions.com. Right now, I'm really focused on getting people visible on social media with TikToks, professional reels. I do website creation and event management. So if you have anything that you're in need of or struggling with, please hit me up. I'm your girl.
Y'all heard that. She's a girl.
I'm your online hype girl.
Thanks again, Fatima.
Thank you for having me. This is amazing.
Absolutely.